Okay,
Okay.
I'm just gonna click recording to start it. We'll have a small group because both Sharon and Ellie, who are the ones that are behind the bag lunch, are traveling and on their way to the district conference in Grand Prairie. So, well, it's not true. Sharon will come later, but she had to go to Vancouver with her husband, so she's tied up. And Ellie is actually on the road somewhere, so probably has a flat tire in mountains, so there's no reception probably. So I said, okay, we will do that, and we'll chat a little bit about our trip coming up. Lou, you may have, I don't know if you're on our mailing list or have
Yes,
heard, but
yes, I am.
we are planning a trip to Guatemala and in January, and so there's 8 people that are going to go, and we have a couple of members of our club, and we have friends of Ellie and Ramiro who are not Rotarians who will be. We have a Rotarian out of Ontario who's going. I'm gonna mute you. Okay.
Yeah.
And so we have 2 British Rotarians that are coming as well. Obviously, connections with some people that are going as well. So it will be quite an interesting visit. We have it planned for about a week. There's a lot of things involved with that. We have locals that are looking after it. Vicky is a member of our club who is right there. And of course, we'll be visiting her school, opportunities for Guatemalans,
Yeah.
and her foundation. And we'll visit Lake Panazagel with the E-Club from the local E-Club there too. And to learn more about their issues, because we are looking at to support that extensively with monies from both 5360 and 5370, which is the 2 districts in Alberta. And at the same time, there's a Rotary Fair in Antigua, and so there will be a lot of Rotarians anyway. So there's one other member of our club, Jean-Michel, our treasurer, and his wife are going, but they're joining the other club that is organized out of Calgary because it will fit their schedule better. And that trip is a little bit longer for that matter too. So yeah, we're quite excited about it. Hello, David. Sorry, didn't recognize you were here. Lou, go ahead.
No, that's fantastic. I follow the newsletters every week, and your posted meeting is wonderful. So very exciting.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is very exciting indeed. So, and and how are things going with the 7020 club, E-Club?
Well, we have
Keith and David. Keith and David. Lou is a member of that club, and of course is a good friend and fellow Rotarian of Kitties.
Yes.
For the Caribbean E-Club 7020.
Well, we have.
So how are things with 7020?
We're busy enough. We have just launched our annual Butterfly Storybook project, which is involving, I'm sure Kitty has told everybody about that.
Yes.
And we also have a ROAR project that we have launched for the 2nd year, and it's involving Rotaractors. And they are Rotaractors, orators addressing Rotary. So you get the ROAR. And every year in our district, they pick a different theme that Rotaractors work on. And this year it's called Team, which involves teenagers, elderly, adults, and then M for maternals, mothers, but mainly young mothers. So
Okay, good.
Yeah, and so they're going to get together. Each Rotary Club, a Rotaract club that wants to be involved, will do up a video, and they have a team of 4 that they get together and put this video together and send it in to us, and we judge them, and the winners get $1,000, which they use towards attending our next district conference in March or May. I guess it's May now. Yeah.
And so this is a district project then,
Uh,
or is it your club's project? I'm
it's
not
our
sure.
No, it's our club's project, but all our club projects involve reaching out to all clubs within the district, and then we sort of
Okay.
organize from there.
Like an umbrella club
That's right.
for the
Yeah.
district. Yeah.
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 And that is unique to the E-Club then?
For us, yes, it is.
I don't understand.
Well, we're the
The
only ones
reaching
that
out to
run
the other
it.
clubs and stuff.
Oh,
Oh, okay, okay.
yeah. Giving them a project, getting them to participate, sending
Yes.
them back to the host club, which will, organize and deal with it. Yeah.
Yeah, the ROAR project is particularly applauded because it involves Rotaractors, and we are making an effort to transition Rotaractors into Rotary. And two of our latest members were in fact Rotaractors and have just joined us within the past year.
Excellent, yes. I mean, that is where actually our communications now will make it easier to do that. That's been a struggle for Rotary for many, many years, obviously, to make that transition for those young people that have been involved. And then all of a sudden, 30 years later, they say, yeah, well, I was an exchange student, or I was on a, had something, and now it's different.
Well, it's
Now we
especially,
can get them,
yeah.
grab them right away.
And it's especially easy for an e-club because they know the technology, and they can contribute in such a fantastic way.
The Passport Club has at least 2 members. I think there's more, 3 members who are dual Rotaractors and Rotarians.
Yeah.
So it's, they're not just members of the
Right.
Rotaract Club and associated with the Rotary Club. They are members of both.
Yes, Akila and Javon are the same,
Yeah.
with a stipulation for 1 year. It's just for a 1-year transition. Yeah.
Well, that's interesting. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Very interesting.
Okay. Thanks. The transition, meaning they know that after a year they'll have to decide.
Well, they'll be at an age
whether
where,
to stay on or not.
they will be staying on unless they give up Rotary, and they have the heart of Rotarians, so they're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
They're with us.
So what are you offering any financial incentive or have a special rate? And what,
Yeah.
by the way, does your club charge?
Oh, gee. I don't know. I get the bill, I pay it. I couldn't even tell you. I think it's
250 US.
Is that right? Okay.
For the year, yeah.
Yeah, but they do get a discounted rate. I think it's half.
Yeah. I don't know that about the Passport Club either. That's a good question to ask.
You just take it for granted. You get your bill and you pay it. Do the foundation,
they had a Passport Club meeting of the leaders of the passports in North Clubs, and I was helping Brian Carmichael managing that. And there are several of the passport clubs that have started that are undercharging, that actually are not charging enough, like $150, which doesn't even cover their Rotary charges. So that is just in order to get people in, I guess. But so So those are interesting things that should be done. I think more and more, if we want to get the younger people in, that's one thing that we need to consider to make it attractive for them to actually join and say, okay, what do I get for all this money? Because they don't know necessarily to begin with what it's all for, and not realizing that basically 2/3 of our fees go straight to Rotary just to be part of Rotary and do what we can do as it is.
Yeah.
Well, it's all part of the education process and all that, information, pass it along.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot to learn, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, it never stops,
Yeah.
actually. There's newer things coming up. I'm also working with a few because after the zone, there was a talk about doing pets training for e-clubs, president-elects online.
Mm-hmm.
And as a matter of fact, it's going to go, we got to make a proposal by the middle of this month to Jeffrey, our zone director, and it will be taken to the board of directors, well, the council of directors or whatever, in a just to run it by them, not an official part of their program, of their agenda, but to see if there's an interest with that. So we got to show how to go about that, and have president-elects do. And the question we have is, how long should it be? How long do we need to train or expose president-elects to what they need to do in the upcoming year? Because if you do it too long, you lose concentration, obviously.
Jesus.
And so 2 times 2 hours is what I had last year, because they did that in Ontario, one of the districts. But this is something to make that more available for all e-clubs around the world, as a matter of
Well,
fact.
yeah, Peter, I know there will be members in our club that would be interested in attending that, because not everyone can travel to the district conference. And just last year, we have a member living in Halifax, and he was elected to be secretary, and he took the local course. But if he could have done it online, he would have much preferred that.
How long is the
And
face-to-face
those
training for
things
presidents, Peter? Peter, how long
it's
is the face-to-face?
Basically, it is, I think, nowadays they have something online, but then there is a get-together as well, and it's like a weekend or part of a weekend, like a day and a half or something like that. But it used to be, if you go back, it used to be like a long, like a whole weekend thing. But then again, the wives came, and it was a social event, and there were, drinks and parties and dinners and all that kind of stuff. The actual training part was only a few hours within that too. And that, we talked about it with some of the people in England, for instance, too. They said, oh, we got areas where they could have that very well too, because not everywhere is it that easy to travel and go and take another weekend, and the cost and all that kind of stuff. Where here, you could just stay on your comfortable couch and fall asleep during the meeting with your eyes open.
It's a great idea.
But one of the you never tried that? Oh no. But
the
other thing is,
hey, my husband can. I know that.
There's also the thing that Rotary International has done such a tremendous job of offering all these courses online that are all in the Learning Center. And so this would be another opportunity to tell people that, okay, if you want to take this, then you have to do this and this and this beforehand. Meaning that they are all registered with my Rotary, because some of them, probably may not even be, or don't know anything about my Rotary. And that's where all the information, or a lot of the information is. So that they have to have a basis by the time we actually get together and start chatting. So
Finding the time to do that learning center is a challenge. But yeah, I've seen some of the presentations are very good on there. So,
Because too, when you take certain presentations, like when I took the one for president, and then as you go, there is a link where you can go to and download your manual this or manual
oh yeah,
that and
Oh,
have it
yeah.
all there. That's all kind of pulled together like that. So it's really good. And so that is one of the things that I am strong in favor of, that if you're going to have people there, they have to show that they have done some homework and are familiar with it, because they need to when you're finished, you can check off that you have taken this one course, and then you get a certificate, or it is registered somewhere, and or I would have that information anyway. Or and they can print off something and produce that, or however we're going to set that up. But those are some of the things that you have some people that come and are not totally strange to the stuff that is happening.
Yeah.
Same thing. What do you think, President-elect training? We had a lot of information, like an hour and a half about foundation. Now, is that actually, should that be part of the President-elect or not? Don't know. And a lot of that is again geared towards the district that may be separate from, in different districts, that's different again, as well. So quite often there are separate trainings for foundations, at least in 5370 there always is.
yeah, yeah.
A separate training for that. So yeah, anyway, those are some of the things that are happening on our side.
Who's our
so-
foundation chair in our?
Was Gary,
Oh,
and we
that's
don't
right.
have one.
Yeah, yeah.
So that is, and we are running a little low on membership. So that's one of the problems that comes on what do we do, what do we don't do. So that's something we all struggle with. How many members you have, Lou, now that you have 2 extra ones?
We're up to 22.
Yeah.
20.
It's been about that same thing forever. I think that same
Yeah.
2022.
And there's a good solid 17 every week at the meeting, at least.
Yeah. Yeah. However, that's the one meeting, and if you don't make that meeting,
Well, you've got the recorded meeting to review,
yeah.
but yeah. It's always nice to have a posted meeting, Kitty. We always appreciated that.
Yeah. Well, and you see, I like the live meetings. I do like the live meetings, but it's impossible for me, absolutely impossible for me to attend on the Saturday morning. So
Yeah, it gets very difficult for me too. Now, one thing with Rotary International, they don't have the more stringent attendance requirements that they did even a few years ago.
that has changed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there are more people in our club now that do their viewing if they have to, and there's more talk of participation within the club on projects. So in a sense, that's maybe a good thing.
To me, watching a recorded meeting where people are humming and hawing and, for an hour.
It's painful.
It is, it's painful. I would rather, I certainly see watching or some video or whatever, or the posted meeting, but you have to have something that keeps your interest for that whole hour. And it's a different sensation if you are part of the meeting because it's live. But if you have to go back and watch it where people are just not sort of presenting their too many weights and glitches and you're not part of that, you're watching it, that's That's not my style. I'm sorry.
Well, when there's electronic oops, and people are
Oh, yeah.
frozen, and then it's like,
Yeah.
are you talking or aren't you? And
Yeah. That's
it
bad
can be
enough in
painful.
life. It's
Yeah.
bad enough life.
Yeah. But it's better than nothing. So
Yeah. So
We're
David,
talking about my disappearance act.
no, yeah.
I don't know what
No,
happened. All
we
of a sudden, I got
hardly
kicked out.
noticed, Peter.
Well, I just heard loose part about
The rest of us could get a word in edgewise.
no, but I just heard loose part about the digital word. You don't know if somebody's talking or not. Well, that doesn't need to be a digital problem anyway, Lou.
no, it's a fact of life for our meetings, though, Peter, and our meetings are recorded. And so Kitty was saying, oh, it's so painful watching these recorded meetings because what is the person saying? Is the person even there? They're frozen. They're gone.
Yeah. I prefer a live meeting, but with that club, I cannot attend the one live meeting that they have every week. And the club started out with the same format as what the E-Club of Canada has now, basically. And it's, I think this is a good format. I like the times. I really like the Thursday morning. For me, it's 10 o'clock in the morning. I like that half hour and some good laughs. Good way to start a Thursday morning.
Yeah, I'm going to have to try and make more of those because that is nice. And it kind of reminds me of the happy hour that we had on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Many years ago.
Many years ago, I know. I know it's interesting because we were talking about with this club having extra times, hosting what my other club called happy hour on a Wednesday night. 7 o'clock is another option. Now, of course, Keith would not be able to attend at that time. But
that would be a snore hour for me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. But there are other people. There are now. 7 o'clock would be 5 o'clock Mountain Time. So I don't know whether it would have to be 6 o'clock Mountain Time to garner enough interested members. I don't know. David, you're out there. Yeah,
but then it's 4 o'clock BC time.
That's what I'm just saying.
California time. No, it's 4 o'clock. There's 3 hours difference there, so that makes it, even harder too.
Yeah,
so it remains a struggle.
Yeah.
Anyway, yes.
But David, you're very quiet today.
I'm just listening and observing the comments. So, good.
Did you get a lot of snow, David?
Oh yes.
Yeah, isn't that awful? I know. How
I flew through Calgary on Monday, and just looking out the plane window was just so disgusting. But anyway.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. How deep is the snow? Like how much?
Well, it was about 30 centimeters here, but further south there were 70 centimeters.
Waterton got 92 centimeters.
92, yeah.
Incredible.
Exactly.
There was a picture on the Weather Channel this morning in Montana. I think this girl was on the top of a car. You couldn't really see, but she leapt off and disappeared completely.
Oh my gosh. It's too early to even be thinking of snow.
Yeah, but it's going fast.
It'll melt. Yeah. I must admit the airport wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. They must have been on the edge of the sort of. It didn't look like they got more than about 10 to 15, whereas parts of Calgary got 25 to 30 rain. So.
I went out with a snowblower on Monday morning, and by Monday afternoon, what was left was mostly melted. It's just gravel, because the ground's still warm, and so that's
but Waterton closed a week too late this year because they don't close until the first weekend in October, right? And in fact, when I went to Waterton, it was in this particular weekend about 3 or 4 years ago. It was fantastic because there was hardly anybody there, and the park was still functioning. But I imagine some people got trapped in a lot of snow. I don't think people were going to be out in nature. Yeah.
I should know whether I can share it. There was a video that a chap took on the going over the Highwood Pass on Monday. And the snowplow had been through, but there was 3 grizzlies walking down the road.
Oh wow!
Oh, wow.
Oh goodness!
Thinking somebody had shoveled a path for them to get.
Well, it was a lot easier.
Thanks
than
for
walking
clearing
through
the road.
Yeah, yeah.
Jeez.
That's like something you'd see on Facebook, like only in Canada.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I hope you can find it. That would be fun.
That would be good for Canadiana.
Yes.
Kitty.
Yes.
If you can send it to me, I'll see what I can do.
You probably Google it and find it without any problem. 3 bears in the snow or on the road or something like that. It would be there.
Well, Jeff is always very quick on the keys to find and share things on a Thursday morning.
Yes. Yeah.
Speaking of Thursday mornings and speaking about Guatemala, it's very strange. Kitty hasn't been on hardly. Not Kitty. Vicky hasn't been on. She used to be on them all the time, but
I think she's traveling.
She's not been on one now for a long time.
Oh,
really?
Yeah, I think she's in California because she just submitted a makeup form for a club in California, San Jose.
Okay.
Well,
you can run, but
also
you can't
a very
hide.
good friend.
Yeah.
But there was I think there's a very good friend of hers who was quite ill, and she had to go there too. So I haven't heard and seen much of her the last few weeks either.
No.
But I think her schedule may have changed a little bit, Keith, in regards to her working
Whether
and
she
stuff
can do
like
it.
that. So
Right,
that may
right.
interfere too.
Yeah, miss her comments because she's always very happy. Good
But,
contributor.
That's right, and she hasn't missed a meeting.
Oh yeah! Wow.
Great.
Oh my.
Yeah, it's great.
And that's the highway.
It's the Highwood Pass. It's actually closed from December till June, I think, because of the elk meeting there. But about this time last year, we were driving over there and stopped for a picnic, and probably could do next week because it's going to be 18 degrees or so.
Wow.
Yeah, but then the bears will want to share lunch with you.
No, that's right.
Fantastic.
So I don't know whether this fellow had a dash cam and came across them.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope he's inside somewhere.
Yeah.
Either that or he's taking it out of the back window and about to hit the gas.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
That's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's only a 4-second clip, Kitty. So, that you'll be able somehow maybe
it could be looped.
somewhere else.
Yeah.
Oh, it is looped. Of course, it's looped. It's a game.
Yeah.
Yeah, 4 seconds was all that was safe to tape, and away they went.
Oh, yeah. Well, and then what would you do? You have to just let them do what they were doing. You couldn't just
absolutely
run them off the road. Oh, gosh. That's funny. Well, let's
they're confused because they're not ready to go hibernate yet. It's way too
early.
So they are confused as well. I mean, what's this? There's still lots of berries to be had somewhere.
That's right. Yeah, exactly.
Good. I'm going to stop the recording. It was great seeing you. Nice chat.
Wonderful to join you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So I guess we're